Welcome to Penny Pinch Projects. If you're new here, my name is Belle, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 jaw-dropping gifts to surprise your grad with for graduation, or you can even make these for yourself like I did. I am a grad this year, and these are just kind of the things that I would have wanted, that I would like to have seen for my graduation or at my graduation party. And I didn't have time to film an intro, so without me mumbling on and on, let's just go ahead and get on to DIYing these gifts. To start on our graduation cap box, we are going to need this craft box, which I picked up at the Dollar Tree. And you can get this in round, squared, or in a heart shape, but I feel like with just like caps, you know, they're round and then they go squared, so I feel like this was just more appropriate. And since I'm going to be painting this, I just picked up some black acrylic paint, then of course a paintbrush, and then for the top we are going to need a button. So like you can just get a button for like a couple of cents. Like very inexpensive at Michael's or something, like in a pack. And this one is very like, it doesn't have holes. It's very flat topped. I use these to make my Yoda dolls. And then of course some yarn. Now the typical yarn is like a yellow gold, but since our colors, like my graduation gown and my cap is like this blue, I picked this up at the Dollar Tree. It's this royal blue, so it matches perfectly with everything else, and this is what I'm used to do the tassel. And then of course just some cardstock, construction paper or craft board, and I'm going to use black. But first things first, we are going to paint this. So I'm not very worried about the very bottom of this since I'm going to be using the paper filler. But I want to pretty much get this whole thing painted black. Painted and dried. Only did one coat, and I think that's really the only thing. One coat should, you know, do it. So next off, we are going to be taking our cardstock or construction paper, whatever you are using, and it honestly depends. If you have a Cricut, you could just honestly cut this thing out. But I wanted to actually show you without using the Cricut, like anybody could do this, because I feel like a lot of times I use my Cricut and I say like you can do this instead, but like you don't actually see it. I just use my Cricut a lot because it literally is so much easier, but I feel like I need to start doing stuff that's like more like stuff you already have, or stuff that's very like inexpensive. Anyways, I'm gonna roll this up and I'm gonna cut it. So let's see. This is literally about 0.75 inches tall. So I'm just going to come over here with a ruler and mark it. Pencil. Okay. We're going to take some scissors. I don't even know if you can see that, but the pencil mark right here, and we're just going to cut it. Just like that. The top done. So just gonna take our ruler and we're gonna make a square shape around this circle. And we want it overhanging a little bit. So I feel half an inch overhang. Half an inch. So I'm just gonna take this line and go straight up. Then come over here. Go straight up to where they meet. And then I'm just gonna cut it out. All we're gonna do is wrap this around and glue it. You can take a button and put it right in the middle, or to make it more feminine, you could just take one of these jewels and then do it off of it, or maybe put this on top of the button, something like that. But I'm just gonna leave it plain Jane. And anyways, I'm gonna put this button right in the middle. So I'm gonna glue it down. Once we're done putting our button on, now it's time to take our yarn. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna cut the yarn to be about I'd say let's do about 7.5 inches. 7 inches. 7 inches. Let's do 7 inches. Then we're gonna take it with our button, wrap it around the button, and we're just gonna tie a knot. And then trim it off. Then we're going to take our yarn, and for this part, I'm just going to take it and cut each piece to 6 inches, and then once we have it put on, we're going to trim it off, most of it. This just makes it easier making a tassel. That way you just have plenty of yarn to work with. And anyways, I'm gonna do, say like 7 pieces. 5, 6, 7. Then we're just gonna take our yarn, line it all up. Fold it in half. Then we're gonna come here. We're gonna bring it up. Zoom in on that. So we're gonna bring it through like this, where it's kind of like a loop. What you're gonna do is come through, pull those ends, and tighten it. And then you got your very own tassel. So just goes on there just like that. But I'm gonna trim it up a little because it's a little long. So I'm just gonna come over here, cut straight across, just like that. And there you go. Now I'm gonna take some matching paper filler, open the box up, and place it inside. Now since this all matches, literally if, you know, I was surprised with my dream car, which is a Jeep for my birthday, you could put the car key in here and, you know, have this like Jeep keychain sitting right next to it with the car key in there, and that would just honestly be so cute, like if that's what I was doing. So all I did is put some paper filler in there. You can put, you know, your grad's car key that you're gonna give them. You could put money in here, gift card, candy, fill it, whatever, or just make this for like a decoration. But it is as simple as that, and so cute. There we go. For the next project, all you're going to need is a coffee cup, which I picked this up at the Dollar Tree for $1.25, and then I cut this decal out on my Cricut, but you could always buy something off of Etsy just for a couple of bucks and stick it on here, their name or whatever. But all we're going to do is take some rubbing alcohol and clean our surface. This just gets all the dirt and the grime and everything. That way, when we apply it, it sticks flatly to the cup. And then I also want to say that this is in my Cricut Design Space profile. I'll put the link down below. Anything that I use that's using my Cricut, I'll put the link down below where you can use it. Anyways, this is going to be layered. It says class of 21. Since I did graduate last year, but I didn't have my graduation till this year. And then I also have this. So it's going to be layered. So I have some transfer tape, and we're going to layer it on here. But you cannot go wrong with something personal that says their name on it and the year that they graduated. I think you just honestly can't top that. If you get something like that, you literally hit the nail on the head. Because you cannot mess up getting something with their name on it or making something with their name on it. Once I have this all cleaned off, then I'm going to take my transfer tape, so I'm just going to scrape the front and the back. And transfer it onto our tape. Okay. Anyways, we're going to take it, center it where we want it, and lay it down. Then take our scraper, scrape it on there. Just like that. And we're going to peel it off. I'm gonna add my name to it. Scrape that down. Whether it's like their nickname or their first and their middle name or their first and last name. Just put their name down, and then I'm gonna do this 20 because it's gold. So black and gold is just iconic, but if you want to do more of their like school colors, that would be really cool too. Again, this is linked down below. You can use it. All you have to do is change the name and then put the number, change the number to a 2 or whatever year that they're graduating. And there you go. So now this one is a little layered. Ooh, just like that. Okay. Then we're gonna scrape it down. Peel off. Let's see. Now these stars are most likely gonna wash off just because they're so tiny. But if you want, you can use Mod Podge dishwasher safe and let it cure for 28 days. That is totally up to you. But permanent vinyl should work. We always hand wash anything, so it doesn't really matter to us. But if you're using a dishwasher, or even for these little stars, you might want to put that glaze on there. But anyways, layer just like that. Now, the final part. Their graduation cap. So scrape the front, scrape the back. Peel the backing. And transfer it. So it's gonna go up here and scrape it down. And peel up. Ooh, just like that. Oh, it looks so good. And that's it. Totally up to you if you want to put like a glaze on it. And they also have coffee cups from the Dollar Tree for $1.25 that have it, but none of them are gonna have your name on it. So I think this just makes it more personal. And look at the turnout. Project, we are going to be taking this oven mitt, which I picked this up at the Dollar Tree, also for $1.25. And I just got in this gray color, and since this is 100% polyester, I set my Cricut to 315 Fahrenheit for 30 seconds. And you can just use the Cricut heat guide and know exactly what temperature, how long, and what kind of pressure to use for a certain kind of fabric. Now, if you're using the exact same one that I did, I'm using this design. It's the same as our coffee cup, just bigger, and then instead of black I'm doing this silver color. And if you like this design, it'll be linked down below again from all my Cricut designs face. So first things first, I'm just going to line this up. So I'm just going to kind of just eyeball it. But first I gotta preheat this for 5 seconds. So what I'm gonna do with this is I'm just going to I'm just going to take like some spatulas, a whisk, and like a candy thermometer and fill this. Usually like people do like baked goods or something, but I just thought that was more appropriate. Now if you have to, usually I'll just stand up and look at it, and then I'm just going to take this, press it for just 15 seconds since I do have to layer this one on there. And we just want it to stick enough where I can take it off and put this on and then go for the full 30 seconds. And it's just light pressure, so just like one hand and so depending on your Cricut heat guide, like what material you're using, mine says wait till this is completely, like slightly cold to touch to peel it off. And we're just gonna peel it off. Like that. And then we're gonna put this on there. Gonna line it up. Just like that. Now we are going to need some parchment paper because since this isn't fully lined and I go put it on there, I have to protect it somehow. So make sure this is lined up once more. And then take my parchment paper or butcher paper, cover it up, then lay it on there for the full 30 seconds. And then once we have this done, we're gonna let it cool slightly to touch, depending on, again, your material. And then we'll be done and we're just gonna stuff it. Now that's cold to touch, I'm just going to peel it off. Just like that. Now it's totally up to you how you want to fill it, but I'm gonna sit here and fill it with some kitchen utensils. Usually do like a spatula, whisk, and like a cookie or brownie mix. But I'm actually going to do like a different array of utensils. So I got this whisk at the Dollar Tree, and then some of the stuff is like from Michael's, Bed Bath & Beyond, Walmart. And I'm going to do this candy thermometer. Put some spatulas in there, some cake testers, and add some measuring spoons. And put the measuring cups on the side. Just like that. glass jar, which I got from Walmart for just $1.98. And what I'm going to turn this into is more of like a graduation like fun jar. So I created this, so it's going to say Belle's Jeep jar on like the front part of it. And then I'm going to move on to taking these Jeeps and just making it all over the jar, and then I'm going to be etching it. So you could turn this into, you know, their dream car kind of like fund, or like a school fund like for their college or whatever, or also for like a graduation party. You could put Belle's, well, their name, graduation fund, or like whatever. Put like diplomas or caps all over it, and then like cut a slit in the top, and then people could put money in there. They could slide like notes in there for the graduate and stuff like that. So first off, I'm going to take some rubbing alcohol and clean it, just like we have cleaned all of our other glasses. Then I'm going to take my transfer tape and stick this on there. So I'm first going to start off with the Jeep. Next thing I'm going to do is take my Jeeps and just in a random order put them all over the glass. Like just bandaged everywhere. I'm going to take my etching cream, some gloves, and then of course make sure well vented area. So I'm going to put this all over, let it sit for just 5 minutes, and then wash it off with warm water, and then take all the stenciling and the tape off. Now for this one, we did the exact same thing, cleaned our glass, which the glass I got from the Dollar Tree, and then we applied our stencil, and I just did where like the caps are all over the place, and then it says Belle and then class of, and then of course I did add the masking tape because it just gives it a border for when we apply our etching cream. And so the exact same thing, apply our etching cream, let it sit for just 5 minutes, and rinse and take everything off with warm water. All the DIY graduation gifts I have for you today. If you enjoyed these gifts, make sure that you leave me a big thumbs up and go ahead and join the family if you haven't already and subscribe. And if you'd like to be the very first one to watch my new videos, make sure that you turn on your post notifications. And I just wanted to say congratulations to all my fellow graduates out there. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!